All right, what's up, everyone? Trevor here with Tag Performance and Nutrition, and in this week's, probably keep a pretty short little episode here, we are going to talk about protein and how you should be eating a high-protein diet, high-protein nutrition plan. But before we do that, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, do all that good stuff. Help me spread the word. Help me help more people. And again, when you're watching these, and I'm going to give you some action steps in this one. Take action. Use the information that you find fits you, is applicable to you, and apply that to your life. And I'll give you some action steps today with this one because we are talking eating a high protein diet, nutrition plan, whatever you want to call it. That's one thing I don't like about the whole health and wellness is people think when you say the word diet, they think of you're eating some strict, regimented way to lose weight. When a diet is just what you eat. It's your all-encompassing what you eat in a day, what you eat in a week, what you eat in a year. But what you eat, it should focus. Number one, when I see people coming in, when I start working with people, I usually have them track their food for a week just to give me where they're at. Don't change anything drastically. Just show me what you're eating so we have a starting point. And a lot of times people come in, one of the first things I see is that they do not eat enough protein. Now, why should you eat protein? What is protein? Protein is a building block. It's essential for us to live. It's essential for us to thrive and build a leaner, more athletic, muscular body. It's a building block. It's the amino acids, the building blocks in our body. Protein is what helps us build muscle, recover, and just build that lean body, which you want. If you're watching this, that's one thing you want. You want to build muscle. You want to burn fat. Muscle helps burn fat. So eating protein is going to help you with that. You should eat a high protein diet. So, and another big reason why eating protein, is it fills you up. It's in the actual satiating, it fills you up by digesting it and getting it into your body, into your blood, and all into your system. But also think about how you're eating the foods that are protein, and we'll cover a little bit more of that here. But like the steaks, the chicken, the meats, you actually have to chew that, so it takes longer to eat, unless you just swallow meat whole, which some of us do in this day and age. We're so fast and in such a rush. But the act of actually chewing and eating, that helps slow down, helps the digestion process, and helps you not just scarf things down so you're feeling fuller. So protein is gonna fill you up a little bit more. So if you're feeling hungry all the time, you're craving junk food all the time, up your protein intake and just see how that goes for a while. See if you're feeling full, you're feeling better, and not craving all this junk food all the time. So add in that protein, get more protein. So where can we get protein sources? Like I say, my whole philosophy on nutrition revolves around whole, nutrient-dense, real foods. So you think foods you get from an animal, foods you get from the earth. And with protein, foods you get from an animal are going to be a lot higher protein content than foods you get from the earth. Yes, there are foods that have protein content if you're a vegetarian, a vegan. There's different ways of that, but for the most part, the meats, the eggs, the dairy, that's where you're going to get a lot of that protein, especially the mainly protein foods that are mostly protein. When it comes to the veggie side and those things, the plant side, a lot of those foods are going to be carb based too, so a lot more carbs than protein. They'll have some protein. Same with like nuts and seeds. There are some protein in there. They're not great quality sources of protein. Again, the best quality sources of protein are going to be your meats, your dairy, your eggs, things like that. So eat those animals. We're humans, we're omnivores. We're meant to eat plants and animals. And eating animals is going to help you with the protein, as the sun is hitting me right in the perfect position for my right eye. But again, eat those animals, meats, eggs, dairy are going to be a good bet for getting a good, not a lot of protein for not as much food. So think like a 6-ounce chicken breast is somewhere around like 30 grams of protein. Lean beef, steaks, fish is another good one too. Fish is a great. I consider fish a meat. I don't know. Some people don't, but whatever. So cod, salmon, those types of things. I think I mentioned your eggs, your dairy. High protein content, not as much on the carbs and fats. Whereas those meats are going to be your basis and base your protein intake from those sources. Again, that can be tough, especially for people just starting out getting more protein, because again, you have to chew those things. It's tougher to eat. You don't see very many people eating 6 steaks a day, whereas you can eat 6 packages of Oreo cookies in a day, no problem, because there's no nutrients. These protein sources have a lot of other nutrients in them too, not just the protein, which I did mention before is a macronutrient. So proteins, carbs, fats are 3 macros, but there's also a lot of micronutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the iron, the zinc, all that stuff, vitamin A, B, C, D. You'll find different sources, these smaller things that help our bodies function properly and how they should be, if we're getting the right amount of quality food. But these protein sources have a lot of other good micronutrients as well. So that's why, again, another reason to eat animals is the protein source. Again, then if you're having trouble getting that, why not add in a quality protein powder? So something like that is fine too. You don't want to make that your main thing, where these MLM companies have your whole plan of drinking shakes, and their supplements are usually garbage anyway. But if you find a good quality one, there's nothing wrong with adding that in if you need that last 20 or so grams of protein to kind of hit your intake for the day, which goes into how much protein should you eat. It depends on kind of your goals, where you're at, those types of things. I always say, if you're relatively lean already, a simple, easy goal or a simple, easy way to track is just a gram per pound of body weight. If you're lean, if you're overweight, trying to burn some fat, think of either 1 gram per pound of lean body mass. So you'd have to get measurements and stuff to do that, to figure that out. So let's say you're 200 pounds, but you have 140 pounds of lean body mass. I would shoot for somewhere in that 140 grams a day. Something like that is totally fine. It's going to be more than most people are getting. And the thing with protein is, if you overeat it, it's not going to burn to fat, or it's not going to turn to fat. Sorry. It's whereas if you're overeating on carbs and fats, it's easier for that to store in your body as body fat, whereas protein, it's a lot more difficult. So if you're going to overeat on one thing, overeat on protein. So again, 1 gram per pound of body fat, or per pound of body weight, is a good goal if you're already relatively lean. If you go over that, nothing wrong with that either. More protein's fine. You don't need to eat a ton over, because then you're just kind of using a lot of it and just taking up space and stuff like that, and kind of can feel bloated. I know I've done that, where you're eating like 250 grams of protein, and I didn't get any fatter. I just was like fuller and didn't want to eat as much, and kind of sluggish. But again, it's not going to, I don't think there's going to be a ton of harm if you overeat on protein. Whereas the other things, it's going to store as more body fat there. But again, yeah, think like 1 gram, around 1 gram per pound of body weight or a pound of lean body mass, or even a goal weight. So let's say you're 200 pounds, but you want to get to 150 is your goal weight, something like that. 150 grams is a good way to start. But again, like I said, most people come in and they're not eating nearly enough protein. If let's say you come in, you should probably be eating around 150 grams of protein, but right now you're eating 40. That's very common. I've seen numbers like this, numbers worse than this. It's crazy. But we're not just going to randomly just jump up to 150. That can be tough. It can be so much. So we'll build on that. Just go from 40 to 80 to 100 to 150, something like that. Just take it slower and gradually increase and get your body used to eating more. Because a lot of these people come in under eating, not just protein, but everything in general, because they're so restrictive and just think they have to starve themselves to burn fat. Whereas it's not going to help. You need to eat more. And we eat more, we start ramping up that metabolism, and you start feeling better, and you're actually burning fat because you're eating more, you're wanting to do more, and your body's feeling better, so you have that energy back. Same with wanting to build muscle. You still need to eat a lot of protein because that's, like, as I said at the beginning, protein is what helps us build muscle. It helps you recover, and it's a foundation for building that muscle. So whether you're trying to burn fat, build muscles, maintain body weight, you should always be high protein. I don't really... there are certain situations, certain medical, I've seen with like some relatives and stuff that have certain things that, they're told not to eat a lot of protein because of whatever, cancer or something feeds on it or something like that. I've heard different things like that. And there's always a certain case, but in general, high protein is going to be beneficial for everyone, especially active, healthy, wanting to be healthy individuals training to be an athlete for life. Fuel that body with protein first, kind of your number one priority there as far as the 3 macronutrients, and fill in with the fats, with the carbs to your liking, to your goals, and gender, training experience, all that stuff, activity level, all plays level. But start with your protein, get that dialed in, and that's going to take care of a lot of the issues, I think. The satiation, having you feel better, building that muscle, more energy, and just overall get you on the right path. Now, how do you add more protein? Like I said, starting off, if you're not eating enough, start with your whole nutrient-dense foods. Think protein at each meal. There's an action step for you. Have protein at every meal, whether you have 3 meals, 4 meals, 5 meals, 6 meals, whatever. Have protein at each meal. And if you don't want to count calories, count grams, that type of stuff, ounces, use your hand. A palm-sized portion is that's about a 6-ounce piece of chicken, something like that. So, ladies, go with 1 palm per meal is a good start. Guys, go with 2. Good start. Figure it out, spread it out between meals, figure out how much. Some people don't like eating a lot in a meal. Some people like have smaller meals throughout the day. Whatever works best for you, there's no one way to do it. I like to do between 4 to 6 meals, I think is a good way to go for majority of people, spread out pretty regularly. But again, find what works for you, but make sure each of those meals contains protein and a good amount of it, because that's going to help, again, build muscle, fill you up, and get you going on the right track and help lead to other quality habits, especially with nutrition. So that would be action step number 1, protein at each meal. Let's go number 2 is just keep high quality protein sources ready to go. So think of things like, there's the meals where you cook the steaks and the chickens and all that stuff, beef, but have snacks that are high protein. Tuna is a great one. Tuna is cheap. It's accessible. I mean, if you get the can, you just need a can opener. I mean, they have pop top ones. You get the little bag ones. Just look out for the ingredients. Some of them are in crappy vegetable oils and stuff. Just get ones that are like tuna and water. It's pretty simple. Other protein, string cheeses, Greek yogurt. You can get the individual cups are good. Again, with that, look for just a plain, put in your own fruit and stuff like that rather than the ones with a bunch of added sugar and all that other junk in there. Simpler, easier, and you can mix it up a little bit more. So keep high protein snacks with you. Again, nuts I would not call a high protein. They're good. They have some protein. Nuts and peanut butter and stuff like that. People think they're great protein sources. They're not. They're great fat sources. They're delicious. Peanut butter is probably one of my favorite foods, but it's not a good protein source. It's high in fat. It's got a little bit of protein, but again, it's not to say don't eat it, but just don't think of it as a high protein source. Other high protein snacks, I'm trying to think right now. I'm drawing a blank. What do we have? Tuna, certain kinds of beef jerky. I mean, it's better than nothing. But a lot of beef jerky is made with a lot of sugar and other junk in it. There's decent ones you can get, but again, those any snack type meats, even lunch meats are not bad if you get like the no nitrate one. So I'll do that. Get some turkey or some chicken, that type of thing. Simple snacks. So have snacks that are high protein. Add in a protein shake. That's another one. Number 3 would be add in I was saying that earlier. If you're struggling to get to that goal, protein, a good quality whey isolate protein is probably your best bet. 20 to 30 grams of protein right there. Just mix it in water or milk or whatever. I don't suggest much else. There's not much else that would taste good in. Besides, you shouldn't be drinking much. You don't need to be drinking any of that other crap anyway. But a protein powder, just slam that back. Again, that can also help. Add that to oatmeal. Add that to your yogurt. Add that to baking. And just make things, add in a little bit more protein that way. Because it's simple. It's really a food, honestly, if it's a good quality one. Look at the ingredients again. Find something that's good quality, not a bunch of junk in there. And add in that as another way to get more protein. Just it takes 5 seconds to pour it into a glass, shake it up, and drink it. Or if you're cool, like a lot of times I'll just put it in my mouth, put some water in there, swish it around, and drink it. I've done that before if you're in a real hurry. So those are 3 action steps you can do to take to get more protein in your diet. So 1 is just have protein in each meal. 2, keep high protein snacks around you. Grab and go, whether they're a fridge or you bring them with you to work or keep them in your desk or in your backpack or whatever, your purse or whatever you do. And number 3 would just be add in a good quality protein powder, protein shake. Is always a good bet. Then people always ask about protein bars. Most of those are junk. I would consider those in the snack category, but most protein bars are just candy bars marketed as being healthy, kind of like Gatorade's marketed as being healthy, or Prime is marketed as being healthy, and then these kids just eat it up and their parents don't know any better because they see all these athletes promoting them and stuff like that. But they're not. I mean, there's good ones out there. RX is a good one, but I mean, RX, I wouldn't even consider RX high protein. There's only like 12 grams of protein in those. Ooh, hard-boiled eggs. There you go. There's a good one. I could eat those things all day. You can get the prepackaged ones if you don't want to make your own and have be a pain in the ass to peel them all. But I got one of those little hard-boiled egg makers. But then, yeah, you have to peel them, which is kind of a pain. But you can just go to the store and buy a little package of 6 or 8 or whatever's in there. And that's another good snack one. But what was I talking about before that got me on that? Now I'm drawing a blank. That's what happens when I don't write stuff down. Eggs. Now this is gonna haunt me. We're on the go. It was protein powder. This is some great content here. Damn it. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh well, I guess. But yeah, again, the moral of the story is get more protein in. Oh, protein bars. That's what we were talking about. I was saying the RX bar because yeah, RX is only have about 12 grams of protein, which is fine, but there's a lot of fat in there too. So you just gotta kind of start learning and just know what you're putting in your body, feel how your body reacts, how it adapts, whether you're counting calories or just tracking with hand measure method or whatever. But again, most of those protein bars are just candy bars, marketed. Like these companies are great at marketing. They get the celebs and athletes to sponsor their products, so kids buy them. Kids force their parents to buy them, and their parents are just feeding them junk when they think it's healthy. So, but there's, like as I mentioned, there's good ones out there like RX, and look for, again, with that type of stuff, look for ingredients, real ingredients in there. I know RX is just eggs and dates and like almonds or something like that, and then some natural flavoring like cinnamon or whatever, blueberries, whatever the flavor is. So I like those. Those are delicious. You just want a quick snack there, and frozen, better frozen. Slab on. Best ones are the chocolate peanut butter ones with peanut butter on them. There you go. It's a lot of fat in there, but fat's not bad. But they get a good amount of protein in there, delicious. But again, protein bars, I would just stay away from them for the most part. If you're on a trip or whatever, there's always a time and place that it can come in handy. But yeah, for the snacks, I would stick with the quality deli meats, tuna, eggs, Greek yogurt, that type of stuff, and you're good to go. So get more protein, build more muscle, burn more fat. That's what I got for you today, guys. Any questions, drop them below, and we will talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching.